First of all, you might be wondering why you're here and what this topic has to do with a health fair. Because the topic is how to have the money you want for the things you want. And the reason why that's appropriate with the health fair is we're going to talk about financial health. And I'm going to help you figure out how you need to manage your paychecks so that you can really have the big things in life you really want. First, a little bit about myself. I am not a teacher. I live about 5 minutes down the street. I did go to Waterford High School. I built a business from scratch with only $2,000 to my name and no other income to $200 million in assets under management. And then 7 years ago, I sold the business. Now I'm a national speaker and I'm a coach helping business owners across the country do what I did. And I've written 2 books. They were recently published. So along that lines, I'm trying to help you learn some of the key things you need to do to be financially successful. First thing that's most important is setting a goal, making sure you know what it is you really want for yourself. I'm a firm believer you can have pretty much anything you want in life, you just have to want it bad enough. So let's think about first what your goal really is, and I'll give you a few to think about. Your goal may be you want to be able to have enough money to go to college. You want to buy a car. You want to take a nice trip. You want to have your own apartment. Think about what your goal is, and a goal is, let me give you my description of what a goal is. A goal is really important that it's realistic. So don't say I'm going to be the first man on the moon because you're too late. So it's got to be realistic. But it also has to be a stretch. If it's something that's going to fall into place automatically without you working for it, then it's not really a goal. So it's got to be enough of a stretch that you had to work for it, but something that you do have the ability to attain. And once you get there, you'll feel great because you worked hard and you made it. So what would you say are some of your goals? I gave you a few to think about, but what goals do you have? By the time you graduate college or get out of high school, whichever, what is your goal? And I'm not talking about a career goal. I'm talking about things you want for yourself. Yeah.
Have a basically like substantial job that's like constant paycheck after paycheck.
Have a substantial job with a constant paycheck after paycheck. What's that going to do for you? What do you want with that money?
I want to be able to, like, if I do decide to have a family,
Yeah.
I want to be able to like support them in any way I can.
Okay.
So I will.
Are there any material things you want? How would you support a family? Would you need a house maybe?
Right.
Okay, would you need a car to get to and from work? Mm-hmm. So those would be some of the goals that you would have to set for yourself. So if you set that kind of goal now, what grade are you in?
I'm actually a senior.
You're a senior. Okay, so do you know where you're going from here?
Yes, I do.
Next. Okay, so you've already got a plan in place. The first thing I would suggest is write it down. Figure out what you really want and write it down. They say if you write it down, it's 80% more apt to happen. If you don't write it down and it's just in your head, odds are it's going to get lost. So you need to write it down, and I'm not telling you that once you write it down, it's stuck in cement. You can change your goals. As you learn, as you see more, as you expose to more, you can change your goals, but you need to write them down and you need to address them. About every 3 months, I would take a look at it and see if it's still your goal and if you're on target with what you really want. What else? What other goals? Besides career, what other goals? Yeah.
I want to have exotic pets.
You want to have what?
Exotic pets.
You want to have exotic pets. So give me an example. What would be an exotic pet?
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. So do you want to go to Australia or you want to actually, you want to have your own zoo?
That's a possibility.
Okay.
Or no, I just really like animals.
First, you might want to experience it. If animals are a big thing for you, then maybe experiencing as much as you can. You're going to need money to get yourself to different things to experience it. Of course, you'll need the classwork to go along with it, but it sounds like you have a passion for that, and that's really good. The more exposure you get, the better. One of the other problems I see is sometimes you might think today that that's what you want to do, whatever it is you decide you want to do, but you've never really been in it. You've never been involved in it. And then once you're actually involved in it, maybe you realize it's not what you thought it was and it's not what you really want, and that's okay too. That's why I think while you're in high school, if you can get as much experience as you can, trying different jobs, trying working, you could volunteer at a pet store, or trying different things to get yourself into the taste of what it's going to be like, then you can better decide if that's really what you want or not. Before we even look at that, the first thing you need to get stuck in your head is most people in the United States in their working life earn more than $1 million. However, very few people become millionaires. And the reason for that is they're not managing the money that goes through their fingers properly. So here's some numbers for you. If when you graduated college at age 22, you got a bare minimum job at $30,000 even. And the reason I'm giving you low numbers is I'd like you to see the low numbers because odds are you'll do much better than that, rather than me giving you huge numbers and then you don't kind of make it to that. So I'm going to give you low numbers, and odds are you'll do much better than this. But if you earned $30,000 the year you graduated high school, and you earned that until you were 62 years old and then retired, and never got a raise for 40 years, just earned exactly the same, that's why I say I'm doing it very low ballpark, you will have earned $1.2 million. So odds are everyone in this room during your working life will probably earn somewhere between $2 and $3 million. But it's how you manage it that matters, that makes the difference between those who become millionaires and have the financial life they really want and those that don't. And you get to control that. When money comes into your hands, though, there's 3 places it needs to go, and that's where the biggest problem is and why people don't become millionaires. So think of it this way. There are 3 places it needs to go, but not necessarily a third, and a third. You get to control where the money goes. The first place is you need to pay your bills, whether it be gas, maintenance for your car insurance, rent, whatever, pay your bills. The second is I suggest you do spend some, because if you save all of your money till later and you don't live that long, what good was it? You have to enjoy life. And number 3, save some, so that someday you'll have the bigger pots of money that it takes to get the big things that your weekly paychecks won't cover. And what you want to have in your head is that you're going to pay your bills, you're going to save some, and you're going to spend what's left. And you're going to take control over how much of the spending you do. The difference between saving it all and spending $50 a month is almost $2,500, and that's just while you're in high school. So if you think about $2,500 difference while you're in high school, now think about what the difference would be once you're out of college and you're earning a regular paycheck every week, and how you manage that. That could make a difference of $2,500 in 6 months. Or 3 months, never mind 4 years. So it's real important to get the right mindset right from the beginning so that you can have all the things you really want.